Have you ever noticed that the more you focus on someone, the more they pull away? Do you remember a time in your life which has happened to you? For me, it's happened so much times in my past. I would literally, I would literally just be focused on someone, even fantasizing about them or thinking about that specific other person, thinking about being with them in my life. And by doing that, they pulled away. They were not really around. There was resistance. There was people in my life that I was with, that I was always focused on them, thinking what it would be like to be with them, even just fantasizing having a relationship, even a family with them, even with people who I haven't even talked to in my school back then. And because of that always created inner resistance with the other people, where some of them didn't necessarily dislike me, but they felt this needy energy, this neediness from me. And the thing is, when you are focused on that specific person, when you're focused on a significant other, when you're putting your energy toward them, almost all your eggs in that basket, they're gonna pull away. They're not gonna stick around. And part of that reason is because I was attached to them, attached to the idea of it was like being with them, and attached to this idea of love. A lot of this came from the idea and the attachment toward these people, whether I was with them or not. And the thing is, I had an extreme lack of self-worth with myself. I didn't like who I was. I always felt ashamed of who I was, constantly watching porn, having a bulimic issue, which I want to talk about in another video. Just ashamed of just my self-image, not thinking I'm good enough for that person. And this can also probably tie back to my childhood, or even some of you guys who are watching this, with an extreme lack of self-worth toward yourself, for not having that love and that validation from your past, whether it's from your family, your friends, or whoever. And because of that, I was looking for that love from other people. And I'm not saying do not have a spouse. I'm not saying do not have that significant other in your life. It's great to experience that. But when you are attached to that other person, they're going to pull away. When you're putting all their energy toward the other person, being needy, they are not going to stick around. Because then you're putting your value less than who you truly are. People want to know that you have value with yourself, that you can value yourself. Accept yourself for who you are, whether it's perfect or imperfect. And that self-image I had for myself was always so imperfect. I always thought myself like I was dog shit. Literally, no joke. I would talk myself down. I would act like, oh, I'm that fucking guy. But I was like, oh, I feel like I'm not that guy. I feel like I'm that shit. I'm that piece of shit on the floor. And the thing is, you have to tie it back to value. And this is where, once you start to learn to accept yourself for who you are, start to value yourself and letting go of these fake beliefs about yourself, you can start detaching from that specific person. And when you start to detach yourself, because you start to value yourself more by letting go and letting in for that self-love that you always had, that power you always had within yourself, is when you detach from this neediness, from someone else's love toward you. And I'm not saying to have anyone else love you for who you are. It's great to have people to love you, but you have to learn to love and accept yourself. Whether some people think that's bullshit, it is true. You do have to love yourself. Your value of yourself, the idea of yourself, is actually what attracts those other people in the first place. And even if you get the other people's attention, they might not stick around if you value them higher than you, put them on a pedestal, when you're attached too much to them. And I'm not saying kick them to the curb, be like Andrew Tate, and then like say fuck them. I'm saying value yourself, accept yourself, and you can love them too. But you can't be thinking I'm not good enough unless they love me. And that's something I've struggled with for a lot of my life, especially in middle school and high school. Having these crushes that I desired that love and attention from, but I just felt so shitty to talk to. I kid you not, I remember this one girl I had in my 10th grade class who I was so attracted to when I was in health class. And one day, the teacher changed our assigned seats, and I got to sit right next to her. You can imagine that feeling, just sitting next to your crush. And I had this hunch feeling that she knew that I liked her. And like an idiot, because of the lack of self-love toward myself, I looked over to her and I said, hey, I'm gonna call her Julia for now because I don't want to say her own name. I'm gonna say, hey, Julia. And she looked over with a smile. I said, can I have a piece of paper? And she looked very defeated because she knew that I liked her, but I said, can I have a piece of paper instead? And I basically fumbled the bag. I screwed up. I messed up. And that's due to my lack of self-worth toward myself. So what you can learn from today, my friends, is to not be in attachment, to accept yourself for who you are and be willing to let go of these beliefs you have about yourself and detach from that love from other people that you don't necessarily need. And it's great if other people love you, but you shouldn't hold your value to that. You shouldn't put your value on if they love you or not. So please remember to let go. And let me know in the comments, what have you been dealing with? Peace, my friends.